Hello friends, so in this video we understand types of normal form in DBMS. So first of all we will see normal form. In database management system, a normal form refers to a stage in the process of database normalization which aims to organize data in database to minimize data redundancy and improve data integrity. Normal form in databases means organizing data to reduce repetition, improve data consistency, and make it easier to maintain. It's like tidying up our data to make it more efficient and accurate. So, the types of normal form in DBMS are 1NF that is first normal form, 2NF that is second normal form, 3NF that is third normal form, and BCNF that is Boy's Code normal form. So, in this video, we are going to see these three normal forms, that is 1NF, 2NF, and 3NF. So, first of all, we will see 1NF, that is first normal form. In 1NF, every database cell or relation contains an atomic value that can't be further divided. That is, the relation should not have multi-valued attributes. So, rules for 1NF. First, single valued attributes means relation contains an atomic value that can't be further divided. Second rule, attribute domain should not change means data type of attribute should not be changed. So the data type of ID is int, so only int value should be over here. Third, unique name for attributes. Each column should have unique. No two columns can have same name. Order doesn't matter means in this table here the student id is here and name is here, so it doesn't matter that student id should be in first column only and name should be in second column only. The student id may be here over here, it doesn't matter. So now let's see this example. This table is not in 1NF form because this cell has two values, that is DBMS and OS. It is not having atomic values. Now to convert it into 1NF we have to insert values like this, like DBMS and OS should be written separately, and now the table is converted into 1NF. Let's see 2NF, that is second normal form. In 2NF, the relation present should be in 1NF and no partial dependency should exist. The partial dependency is when the non-primary attributes depends entirely on the candidate or primary key. Rules for 2NF, table should be in 1NF. First of all, the table should be in first normal form, and the second rule is no partial dependency. Means no partial dependency by making two different table which is independent on each others. So, to understand partial dependency, let's understand what is dependency is. So, dependency is also known as functional dependency. It basically means as all columns are dependent on one primary key. For example, if we see the table student, in this student id, student name, and there is student id, student name and address, and the primary key is student id, and student name and student address are both will depend on student id. Basically all the other columns are dependent on one column or one primary key. So this is what functional dependency is. So partial dependency means what? Partial dependency means when there are two or more primary keys in one table. Any attribute depends only on a part of candidate key and not on the complete part of the and not on the complete candidate key. So what this means is, so there are three tables, that is student table has student details, subject table has subject details, and in this core table the student id and subject id are linked to these two tables. So in this core table there are three primary keys and the student id and subject id are candidate keys. So marks is non-primary key and is dependent on subject ID. Mark is dependent on student ID. And now the teacher attribute is dependent on subject ID, but it is does not depend on student ID. So hence there is a partial dependency where this column is only dependent on part of primary key. And now so the table that previous tables are converted into 2NF, that is the teacher column is here in previous slide, and now that teacher column is in the table subject, and now the table is converted into 2NF. So 3NF. In 3NF, the given relation should be in 2NF and no transitive dependency should exist. That is, non-primary attribute should not determine non-prime attribute. Rules for 3NF are table should be in 2NF, no transitive dependency. So, when the transitive dependency is when a non-primary depends on non-prime. So, what are prime attributes? Prime attributes are primary key which all the columns are depend. So, when the column depends on a column which is not primary key, the not primary key can take null values also. So, basically, let's see this. Functional depend on B. This is non-prime. So here the B is non-prime and is dependent on another non-prime, that is A, and it is also non-prime. So it can take null values. For example, the A has 0 value. So basically B will depend on a null value which is not allowed, and that's why transitive dependency should be removed, because all the columns should be depend on primary keys and not on non-primary keys. So let's see this table. So in this, as we see the table, the total marks will be dependent on exam name column. So basically this is non-primary key. It is dependent on another non-primary key, that is exam name. So these both are non-primary keys and which are dependent on each other. So basically transitive dependency is over here. So now, as the exam name is non-primary key, so there will be null value, and hence if it has null value, so this column should also have null value, and this will create an issue. This is how we can remove transitive dependency. We convert these tables into two tables. Let's see here that the previous table can be converted into two tables and the transitive dependency is removed and the table is converted into third normal form. So I hope you understand the types of normal form in DBMS, that is 1NF, 2NF and 3NF. Thank you.